What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and welcome to another episode of Back to Basics. Today we're talking all about transfers. We'll be going over heat transfer vinyl and Plastisol transfers. Now, as most of you guys know, my channel was built around heat press and transfers. This is how I run my business. There's a big difference between heat transfer vinyl and Plastisol transfers, and for a lot of the new viewers out there, there is a lot of confusion. So hopefully, I'm gonna touch base on everything in this video to help you out. First things first, let's talk about heat transfer vinyl. Heat transfer vinyl is exactly what it sounds like. It's vinyl that comes off of a roll, you feed it through your vinyl cutter, and then you transfer it onto your t-shirt with a heat press. There is a difference between decal vinyl and heat transfer vinyl, so when you are buying vinyl, make sure you're buying the correct vinyl for whatever you're using it for. Heat transfer vinyl usually comes with application settings. Heat transfer vinyl comes on a roll, just like these back here. And heat transfer vinyl also comes with a description on what material it's supposed to be transferred onto. So a vinyl that's made for nylon usually won't adhere to cotton. And then also vinyl that's made for cotton usually won't adhere to something like nylon. So make sure you're buying vinyl based on the material that you're going to be pressing on. Now, heat transfer vinyl that I use is made by EconoTransfer. This right here is EconoV. This is like their standard heat transfer vinyl. Comes on a roll just like this. Now, some cutters come with a roll feeder where you could clamp this whole roll onto the cutter and feed it through, and it'll cut it just like that. A lot of the smaller cutters, Crickets and the Cameo 4s, the smaller 12-inch cutters, don't have roll feeders. So if you buy a roll like this, you would have to cut it down to, let's say, 12 inches and then feed it in. A lot of people use cutting mats with their smaller craft cutters. Nothing wrong with that. You could still buy this by the big roll, cut it down, put it on the mat, send it through. For this video, we're going to be talking about EconoTransfer heat transfer vinyl. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going to be confused, and you're like, well, why don't you just use the vinyl that you can buy at Joann's and Michael's and Hobby Lobby? That vinyl over there is a lot more expensive than buying it like this. So something standard like this, EconoV's EconoTransfer vinyl, can go for like $32 to $35 for a 5-yard roll. This is 5 yards by 20 inches. So if you do the number breakdown for that, let's say $32 for a 5-yard roll of EconoV, that breaks down to about $6, $6.50 for a yard. And then if you want to break it down even smaller, 3 feet in a yard, comes out to like $2 a foot. Fairly cheap when you break it down just like that. But comparable to something that you would buy at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, Joann's, and some of these other craft stores, you might be getting a 12-inch roll, and you might not even get a full yard of that stuff, and the price is pretty crazy, right? So that's why I buy my vinyl just like this, usually by the 5-yard roll. Good price break there, easy call. Now, next thing, is this what it looks like pressed on a t-shirt? Once again, this is EconoV by EconoTransfer. This is their standard heat transfer vinyl. That's what it looks like. This is what it stretches like. For a lot of people always want to see stuff get stretched out, there it is. This is on a 100% cotton all-style t-shirt. And EconoV comes in a bunch of different colors. So once again, this is the stuff that you send through your vinyl cutter. I'll leave links to this stuff if you want to check it out, if you wanted to order up, if you just wanted to look at what they have to offer, compare prices, do whatever you want. Like I said, link for everything I talk about in here will be in the description box. Now, that's just the standard heat transfer vinyl. There's other stuff like puff, like I'm wearing right here. This can also be sent through your vinyl cutter. This is heat transfer puff from EconoTransfer. Econo Puff, I believe, is what they call it. This is heat transfer puff vinyl. Standard vinyl, you send this through your cutter and it'll cut it out. Settings are gonna be a little bit different, but this can also be sent through your vinyl cutter to achieve stuff that looks like this. So here's the puff, close-up of the puff. So cut it out, you weed it out just like vinyl, press it on with your heat press. As the press pops up, you start to see it puff up. I don't know the technology behind it, but that's how it works. BFlex. Now outside of that, there's all kinds of other vinyls that you can use. Glitter, metallic, foil, printed vinyl. There's all kind of stuff that already has patterns on it. There's stuff that has holes in it that's perforated so it could go on jerseys. There's a lot of different stuff that you could use your vinyl cutter for. So like I said, check out EconoTransfer if you wanted to, see everything they have to offer, compare prices, order up if you wanted to, or don't, whatever you want to do. But heat transfer vinyl is a really good way to decorate t-shirts from home. Easy way to get your business started. What I use my vinyl for usually, if I'm not doing puff vinyl like this for retail, I use regular standard heat transfer vinyl for custom t-shirts and testing out designs before I get transfers made. Now, speaking of transfers, let's talk about Plastisol Transfers. This is something that you've probably seen in a lot of my videos. This is probably why you're here on the channel and you've never heard of Plastisol Transfers. You're very curious to see what it looks like, how it holds up, all of that stuff. That information is all over my channel. Wash test results, all that stuff. But let's break down what a Plastisol transfer is. So a Plastisol transfer or screen printed transfer is just that. It's a transfer that's printed with Plastisol ink, the same exact ink that screen printers use to print on the t-shirts. Instead of screen printing directly onto a t-shirt, they screen print onto a transfer sheet. That transfer sheet is then cured by yourself with your heat press onto the t-shirt. That's what this is. So this right here is a Transfer Express hot split Plastisol transfer. This is a screen printed transfer right here. So this is Plastisol ink cured with my heat press onto the t-shirt. There's no weeding involved. Check out some of the fine detail, small text. Stretch test, a lot of people want to see that. Stretch test on the front, a lot of people love seeing that. So this is Plastisol ink, screen printed onto a transfer sheet, and then heat pressed onto your t-shirt. This is what the sheet looks like. I believe this sheet is 14 by 11 or something like that. So there was that back print. The front prints are down here. So on this sheet we have 4 different designs on this sheet. Now the way you buy these is you pay per sheet. So whatever you could fit on this 11 by 14, you pay per sheet. This is white ink on here. You can do black ink, you can do whatever. This is what black ink looks like. Once again, stretch it out, stretch test. This is what it looks like. This is black ink, Plastisol ink. Once again, Transfer Express hot split ink formula. Comes on a sheet just like this. So the benefit to using stuff like this is single color. There's no weeding involved. You just cut this out with scissors. You press the back on. You cut the front part out. You press that on. Easy call. No weeding involved because this is actual Plastisol ink. Same ink that they use on screen printed t-shirts. Instead of printing on t-shirts, they print onto this transfer sheet. You heat press it on. Now the benefit to using this is the gang sheet. Like I said, you pay per sheet. Whatever you can fit on this 11 by 14, they don't care how many designs you put on here, so you pay per sheet. The price breaks are usually at 100. A lot of people are like, man, I don't need 100 transfers, I just need 20. You got to remember, the more you order, the cheaper per piece it's going to be. It's like that with any type of printing. If you're screen printing, if you're doing reprographic printing, if you're doing any type of printing, the more you order, the cheaper per piece it's going to be. So like I said, this sheet right here is like $1.80 when you order 100. So that's 180 bucks. You could get all of these on here. So if we just did some basic math, let's say that this transfer costs $2. Sake of the video, make everything easy. Let's say this transfer costs $2. There's 4 designs on this sheet right here. The breakdown becomes 50 cents per design. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you, I don't know what to tell you. So $2 a sheet, as many designs as you want. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna say this is a $2 sheet with 4 designs on it. The breakdown becomes 50 cents per design. This is increasing your margins. This is for a single color print, and this is the way I run my business. So if your blank t-shirt costs $3 and the print, let's say front and back, So we'll say the back is 50 cents, the front is 50 cents. That's $1. You're into the t-shirt for $4. Blank t-shirt was $3, front print 50 cents, back print 50 cents. You're into the t-shirt complete for $4. If you sold that t-shirt for $12, you'd be tripling your money, but you could sell it for more. See what I'm saying? This is how I break stuff down, because if you were gonna get something traditionally screen printed, there's no way you're gonna be getting your t-shirts printed for 50 cents. Easy call. This is why I use these types of transfers. And like I said, I'm gonna leave the link for this stuff in the description box. So if you wanted to check out Transfer Express, the link is gonna be below. You could check out all the ink formulas they have to offer. You could compare prices. You could do all the research you want. But this is a traditional Plastisol transfer. Plastisol is the ink. Remember, it's a screen printed transfer. So they are screen printing with Plastisol ink directly onto this transfer sheet. They send it to you, you cut it out, and you press it onto your shirt. You are now curing the ink into the t-shirt. Done deal. Now, you're like, well, that's single color stuff. What do you do for multicolor? What if my design has 5 or 6 colors in it? What do I got to do? Bingo, that's where I use Supacolor. Supacolor Transfers is a water-based ink that's digitally printed. And the beauty of these transfers is anything you could create on Photoshop or Illustrator can be printed onto a Supacolor transfer. I'm talking buttery smooth gradients. I'm talking about any color from a 4-color process that you could think of can be printed. And this is what it looks like. This right here is a Supacolor transfer, once again on 100% cotton, all style t-shirt. There's drop shadows in this fist. There's a few different yellows. Here's the stretch test. This is what the back looks like. White print. Inside the brass knuckles. You can see there's drop shadows on there. Once again, stretch test. Let's see, get a little close up of that. You see that? Now here's another example right here of the gradients. Got like a goldish tan going to white, and then white going to goldish tan. I'm trying to get real close up in there for you. So if you can see right there, stretch test once again. A lot of people like seeing that stuff, right? But butter smooth gradients. Once again, this is a digital print. Now these transfers come in bags like this. They come with the instructions. There's the small front hit. There's the back hit. Now with Supacolor, they do not offer gang sheets. So you buy transfers based on size, and then you buy per piece. So once again, they do not offer gang sheets. You can't put a bunch of designs on one sheet and then buy the biggest sheet they offer. They do not offer that. I know that's one of the biggest bummers when it comes to Supacolor. That's the only con when it comes to that, because everything else is a plus. Reliability and durability for one in this print is crazy. I got a lot of videos on this channel where I compare it to traditional screen printing. I compare it to different transfers, all of that stuff. Wash tests, everything is already on the channel. So if you wanted to check it out, how they hold up in the wash, all of that. As you can see, it stretches really nice. People like stretching stuff. Stretches really good. On top of that, quick turnarounds and low minimums. Really, really cool when it comes to multicolor stuff. Now you're probably thinking like, well, why don't you just use Supacolor for everything? Or why don't you just use Transfer Express for everything? Why would you? It's better as business owners to have a lot of different companies in your pocket so you could use them for what their strengths are. Supacolor, really good for multicolor design. I don't know if you've ever priced out a multicolor job before, but the more colors in your design, the more the price goes up. Traditional screen printing, every single color needs its own screen. So if you have a 6-color spot color design that you're trying to get screen printed, you pay for each setup for each screen. So let's say that you have a 6-color design and you want to get it screen printed. Out the gate, you're paying $25 per screen. And this is on the low end. So $25 per screen times 6, $150. That's out the gate, no printing, no nothing. That's just the setup for a 6-color job. So let's take this design right here and use it as an example. we have yellow, we have a darker yellow, we have brown, we have black, we have white. So this is like a 5-color job right here if I were to get it screen printed. So setup alone would be $125, right? Out the gate, no printing involved. These right here come out to like $1.70 or something like that if you ordered 100 of these. And this is going off of the 4x4. So I think it's like $1.70 or something like that. This is off the top of my head. So you're looking at $170 for the front if you ordered 100 of them. So like I said, $125 just for the setup fee if you're going the traditional screen printed route. Fairly expensive, right? Paying $125, and then you would probably have to pay about $3 for the print. But let's just say $2 for the print. Say you got ordered 100 t-shirts, you paid $125 for the setup fee, and then now you're gonna pay $2 a print times 100. That's an extra $200. We're looking at $325 just for printing the front traditional screen print. This is, I'm just talking about regular screen printing if we're comparing. This right here, if it was screen printed, probably run you about $325, and that's on the low end. Supacolor, about 170 bucks. Was that like half the price or something like that? Easy call, right? So if you wanted to check it out, compare prices and do all that stuff, you could check everything out in the description box. You don't have to use Supacolor if you don't want to. You don't have to use Transfer Express or EconoTransfer. You use whatever you want. I'm just giving you guys some of the stuff that I use to run my business and how I do it. I always look for price breaks. So like I said, the more you order, the cheaper per piece it's always gonna be. With anything, transfers, with vinyl, with anything, the more you order, the cheaper per piece it's always gonna be. So look for price breaks. Also look for turnaround time, and also you're gonna wanna look for customer service. If you reach out and ask questions, hit up Supacolor. Let them answer your questions for you. Hit up Transfer Express, let them do the same for you also. If you had questions about anything on EconoTransfer's website, reach out to them and ask questions. Let these companies answer all the questions for you. That way you know what you're buying into, and that way you know who you're buying from. So if you have issues laying transfers down, if you have issues with anything, you know that they can be reached. I do this with every company that I talk to and I use. I make sure that there's somebody on the other end that I can reach out and contact in case shit happens. You know what I mean? So hopefully all of this information about transfers helps you out. Heat transfer vinyl. It's vinyl that comes on a roll like this. You send it through your vinyl cutter, cuts it out, you press it onto your t-shirt. Plastisol Transfers, Transfer Express. Screen printed transfer comes on a gang sheet, you cut it out, press it onto your t-shirt. Supacolor, digital print, water-based ink, press that sucker onto the t-shirt, you're good to go. Hopefully this video helps somebody out there. If you guys got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, BigBrandoTV. Appreciate you guys for watching this series. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.